You're like,
That's
oh,
adorable.
yeah. Like, okay, well, why did you lock yourself in the silverware drawer? You know, what the hell's the matter with you?
What? What? Who
Maybe
locked
it's something
what?
to do with the closet. He would like get himself stuck in the closet. I don't know how. Like you would open it to get something, and then you'd close it, and he'd like be in there somehow, like a fucking ninja. And then
Mm.
you just all of a sudden hear meowing, and you're like, "Is that the cat?"
Yeah.
Hello,
So,
everybody. We're
you know how
back.
Brat would lock herself in the silverware drawer. But,
Oh,
yeah.
Brat. I miss Brat.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the fourth and final hour of Edge of Morality Lost Initiative. I've joined the Cool Kids Club, and we're about to leave.
You're branded with the Kool-Aid brand.
Listen,
Well, they're
man.
called, so again, just to re-describe that actual brand. So it is the Eye of Grumsh.
Yeah.
And then as always, the symbol of the Eye of Grumsh is kind of like mangled on the outside of it. That is supplemented by the boiling flesh that didn't quite get branded. And the actual pupil of the Eye of Grumsh is a spear itself. So there's like a spear inside of it. So, and the name of the brotherhood, as he had said to you beforehand, is the Blood Spear, which the Blood Spear is the name of Grumsh's favorite weapon. So, so you are the Blood Spear sect of the Temple of Grumsh. So you guys are leaving the temple itself. As you guys are traveling out there, I don't know if there's much conversation or whatever, but you guys are making your way back out. I need to know, A, where you're going, and B, the reactions of the first person to notice that Thonk has this new like injury because he seems to be wincing and whatnot. So if all three of you roll me a perception
Can I
really
not
quickly to notice it first.
Give me a deceit roll to not look like I'm wincing.
Sure. You go right ahead, sir.
You can roll it against our perception.
Exactly
Well,
that.
yeah, obviously. Yeah, keep rolling
Oh
low.
my god, if you roll a 6 also, okay. Oh my god.
No, that's me. That was my deception.
That would have been
roll.
creepy. It would have been creepy if like
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right.
69 though.
Hey!
It's close. If you turn it the other way around, it's also a 6. I feel like there's something evil happening right now.
It's a little weird.
The evil is eeping forth.
So none of you notice that Thonk is wincing. That none of you notice that he is in pain from whatever happened. So you continue making your way to where? Where is it that you're going? No, you know that you need to head west. Did you have a plan to get west? Do we need to see a map of Faerun?
Probably need just to like start walking.
Start walking. So you want to just start heading?
Well, there's
straight
got to be like a city nearby that we can go to. What's up, Maggie?
Well, I feel like something else that Grauman would want to do while in this city is, I mean, his thing is that he's trying to figure out what happened to his family. And so I guess maybe kind of asking around, seeing if anybody else knows like what happened to the Bone Warriors and like their kind of story of like the people who came and attacked that clan.
It's a good question. So while you're still at the temple, so we're
I
actually
know
going to
that's like a
rewind
step back, but
No,
I
please.
feel like that's something that like he would want to figure out as well. I didn't know we were gonna like leave the next day.
No, Maggie, you are perfectly fine. I was focusing my attention on Mathis there. I'm sorry, favored child for a minute. So so it makes sense that while you're inside the temple, that you would try to find out what had happened to a large group of Grumsh followers. So you would want to know about your tribe. So sadly, you're not very literate, so you would need to have somebody else assist you. You have a couple ways you can go about this because there is going to be a library in this temple. You can either start asking around the clerics to see what it is they can tell you, or B, ask your two little buddies to whip open some tomes inside the library, because they're slaves doing what you told them to do, right? If you choose to continue with that narrative, and have them read the tomes and see what they can find out.
Yeah, I guess while Thonk is getting branded and doing all this crazy stuff, maybe I see if, because like I basically start, kind of like while I'm drunk that night, I like explain to Otto and Arbai what happened with Thonk and like how he did this thing, and then it kind of like triggers Grauman to remember like why he was on this journey to begin with and what happened. and he kind of explains that he's like looking for his family, or like what
Grandma
happened.
was a real blabbermouth last night, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's surrounded by like all these orcs, and I think it's like bringing back like memories.
It's funny. I think last night Grommen was one of the most sober he's ever been too, because obviously you don't want to get drawn into a situation like this. Like what would happen? Like you guys could die. So maybe Grommen just drinks to be quiet. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of such a downer. So you are able to either turn to your friends or turn to the orcs. What do you choose to do?
I think I'm gonna turn to my friends to start with to see what we can accomplish. Well, I guess it depends on how Ryan and Otto like react to that. If they want to help him or not.
So Grommen is asking us to go help him sift through the tomes, more or less.
Yeah. Well, I guess how he like, let's say he explains the story about Thonk. He tells you what happened. You start to kind of maybe believe what happens or what happened, and then Grommen's like, now I remember. My family, they all die, but I don't know what happened. This is why, and he like points at his face, and points at the scar that's on his face that like goes all the way down to his neck, and he's like, this is why I don't remember. And he's like, "Can you help?" And he kind of like looks at you guys to help him.
I glance over at Ryan. I say, well, we are sworn to do your bidding after all.
Rye does like a frilly bow.
I guess we are off to figure out what we can find out.
Okay, so when you get to the library, you're going to have to get them permission to read there. So, because you're the one that speaks Orcish and you're the one that's in charge of the three of you, how would you wish to choose them to do so? How would you wish to convince them that they should be able to go in there? Do you want to, like, use a persuasion? Do you want to intimidate them? Do you want to deceit them? Feel free to RP out what it is that you say to this orc, because they're kind of like, hey, they're not allowed in here. One of those.
Grommen's like, I guess he's going to use intimidation because that's kind of all Grommen really knows. So he's going to be like, no, they're with me. I know go nowhere without them.
Okay.
He, like, kind of gives them, he's like, oh, and he's going to bring up what happened last night as a bonus and be like, I strongest orc. And he, like, flexes.
I will allow you to take advantage with exactly what happened last night.
Oh.
Because it was so recent.
And that's intimidation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see how that goes.
Oh, nice. Both rolls were good too, but he's like, oh, I don't want you to, sorry. And he like opens the door and lets you guys in there. He's, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were.
And then when we get in, Grumman's
GTM.
like, yeah, when we go in, Grumman's like, why so hard to read book? And he walks in.
So kind of funny. The going in here and looking about the tomes, there's a lot of books here. Most of them are very, very old. It's not like there's newly printed books sitting around in this library. Most are very old and in battered condition, really bad condition. The condition of this room itself and like the humidity or whatever isn't actually that bad, but you can imagine how difficult it is for these orcs to collect these findings and how much they cherish them when they finally get them. So the library isn't like this amazing vast library, but it has quite a few books inside there, more than maybe the two of you originally expected. But all the books are in terrible shape, or at least almost all the books are in terrible shape. But more than that, almost all of the books are written in Orcish. So Otto is kind of very limited to how it is that he can assist in the situation. I mean, he knows a couple of like Orcish words here and there, and he knows the alphabet that's used, which is actually the Dwarven alphabet that's used to write Orcish. So he can kind of like put little bits of clues together, but it's going to have to be Rye that does this. I keep hitting that. It's going to, just today. So it's going to have to be Rye that does most of the work on this one. Rye can read every language. So Rye, you're going to do an investigation check, but
so I
Otto's
can't understand, but she can read?
Yes,
sir. Correct.
Oh, interesting.
I have an ability called Eyes of the Runekeeper that lets me.
Okay. I can understand
That
this
is a
though, because
cool
I'm
as hell
learning
sounding
Korean,
name.
and I can read it,
Yeah.
but I can't speak it.
What are you learning, Maggie?
What?
What are you learning?
Korean, but
Korean?
I can read everything. I have no clue what I'm reading.
That's funny. So Rai is able to read everything, but Addo can give assistance to this. So it's going to be an investigation check, but Addo is going to give you the advantage on it because he can kind of like narrow things down. You are going to have to use your investigation as opposed to his. I don't know whose is better.
Probably yours. I only got 3.
Mine is 0. So,
Oh, well,
Based on
okay.
int.
You do have to use yours, though, I guess.
Yeah.
With advantage.
Red's like,
So he whips out his lute and he's like,
I guess the first thing Grauman's gonna do is when we get into the library, he's gonna like go up to a bookshelf, and then he's gonna be very confused, and he's gonna go back to the librarian guy, and be like, "Where books on bone warriors?"
Oh.
He doesn't know.
That's why you have Rye. Rye's on it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rye's reading all the spines. She's going through.
Okay, Rye's figuring it. I guess that's what Grauman's doing. And
I
then,
guard the room.
Yeah.
So he Rye's kind of looking around and Addo's just kind of walking around and nope. Ooh, this is Addo. Oh, nope. And yeah, kind of working your way through. After a couple of hours pass of opening this one up and kind of reading and be like, no, it's garbage, and putting it back in there. Open this one up, shuffling them back into the spine as quickly as you can, closing it, hoping nobody notices. You eventually come across a few different passages here and there that does refer to the orcs of the Galena Mountains and incidents that happened within the past couple of decades. So not necessarily reaching back, dozens or hundreds of years. It does refer to the orcs of the Galena Mountains. It actually refers to the fact that the orcs of the Galena Mountains fell from their faith and that they became faithless orcs that were a disgrace to Grumsh, and the fact that they chose to worship a false god instead. They chose to worship a lich that went by the title of the Witch King. And
Flashbacks.
The cleansing of these orcs was probably a good thing. Because while many of them were fierce warriors, they were fierce warriors from the brainwashing of the Witch King as opposed to the zealotry of Grumsh. And whoever it was that actually defeated Castle Perilous and the Witch King and slayed most of these orcs, or at least led the armies, was a man by the name of Gareth Dragonsbane. And Gareth Dragonsbane was the leader of a group of 7, him being one of them, that had disbanded them. A little bit of backstory about
when you
Gareth.
mention the 7 part, Rye, Grauman remembers, and he's like, 7, and he like holds up like 10 fingers because he doesn't know.
We're just gonna have to cut 3 of those off to make it easier for you.
And what was the name of those? Because they're like probably enemies. Oh, he remembers, and he's like 7, and then he like remembers scimitar, and he like just keeps saying 7 and scimitar, and I don't know if you find anything from that, but he does remember the name Gareth for sure.
And go ahead.
Grauman starts like getting really angry.
So you are able to read that Gareth Dragonsbane is a holy man himself to some lowly god. He is a member of the Order of the Cup. The Order of the Cup is a group of worshippers. It's like a sect, like Matheson's Thunk just did. It's a subsect of the Church of Ilmador. We don't need to get into that god right now, but he is you know that one.
Yeah, I know that god.
So he's a subsect from the Church of Ilmador, but Gareth is actually now leaning into more recent histories. He is actually now crowned king of a different human nation, but it doesn't say which one it is. This book is old, so it could be outdated. That might no longer be true. But he was a paladin to the cleric of Ilmador, led a group of 7, him being one of them, against Castle Perilous and the ruler there, who is the Witch King, that more or less brainwashed the orcs into worshiping him as opposed to worshiping Grumsh. And the death of those orcs is probably a good thing because they had already fallen.
Rye relays this and like mentions that like maybe we need to find the Order of the Cup to to get some more information about
Of
this.
the Golden Cup.
Order of the Golden Cup. All right.
She tells Gromit to remember Order of the Golden Cup.
And I guess are you basically telling me that my family
Was purged.
false gods? Is that what's happening?
Rye doesn't say it like that. Rye's like very careful in her reading of the story.
So I'm actually curious how it is that you guys would give this information to Gromit. Would you, I suppose, beat around the bush? Would you be very direct? Would you water things down, change details? What would you do?
Rye is like watering it down like she's giving information to a child, almost. Like she leaves out like the faith stuff, and she just says that like they had a big fight against another group, and they lost. And the group leader was this guy of a 7 from the Order of the Golden Cup.
And Grumman like recognizes the other stuff. So when like you said 7, he remembered the word 7, and he actually said scimitar before you did. But he didn't know about the Golden Cup, at the Order of the Golden Cup aspect of it.
Do I find anything about a scimitar in the book?
She's confusing it with the people from your city, which are
Those are the people who killed my family.
the people that killed the family with the order. There's Gareth and his group of 7.
Yeah, the 7 scimitars. That's what they're called.
Oh, sorry. The 7 scimitars were the group of people that rescued you from your temporary slavedom.
No. Go read my background story. You are getting confused.
Oh, I will go back and read
the
it.
ones who killed my family.
I'm going to take your word for it at face value, Maggie.
Okay.
I will read it later. That is for certain. But you go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So I just relayed this information. And I'm like, if we want to find the guy that hurt your parents, we have to find someone from the Golden Cup.
He only hurt them. He didn't kill them.
So I guess Grauman's like, where we find Order of Golden Cup.
Rye kind of like lifts up the book and then drops it, and dust just goes everywhere. She's like, I don't know.
Well, how we find out?
I guess we ask people.
He's like, who we ask?
Well, not these. She like motions to the dumb orc at the door.
When you motion to him, he kind of perks up like he's in there like picking his nose. He's like, huh?
Grauman gets sad again because he's like so close, and then he like feels let down again. Because he finally remembered what he was supposed to be doing, and now
He's a human, so we just have to ask humans, not orcs.
Okay. Now Grauman is going to ask every human he meets. at this point.
I know what puts up a comforting hand, smacks him on the arm. We'll find him, buddy. We'll find him.
I just can't wait till Gromit comes across like a half elf and so asks half the question, So
Okay,
that
well, I
wraps
guess
it.
that's kind of where it ends then, I guess, if that's as much information as we can get.
That was after many hours of research inside this thing, inhaling much dust and maybe even breaking a couple of books and hoping that nobody notices.
Rye would like to take the pages with this information.
So it's one of those like you're sitting there and you're just kind of like tearing the page like put in your pocket. It's like, oh, so much dust in here. Find another like 5 feet.
Yeah.
Do you do this like so we can see that you're doing that, or are you just doing it on your
Yeah,
own?
no, I do it in front of you, and then I put in motion that like the
The
information.
first time you do it,
like,
Grauman stops you and he's like, what do you do?
I'm getting the information.
And then Grauman's like, oh, okay. And then he continues.
Rye just gets back to it, like puts them in the bag.
So just do me a favor really quickly. Sam, roll me a deception so the guy doesn't notice that's what you're doing.
Deception or sleight of hand?
Oh, you know what? Sleight of hand. My apologies.
Okay.
Good call. Good
Do you
call.
have your gloves on?
Yes.
I do have my gloves on.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yes.
He gets
Got
like a
plus
plus 10
9.
because of those damn gloves. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
dog.
Oh, but it's not on there.
Yeah, no, I just use add +5 to it.
Yeah. I'll actually make that modifier on there for you later. But so that's a.
I rolled advantage by accident. You want me to roll normal?
Oh, please. Have you noticed? No, I don't want you to roll normal. No, I don't.
Oh no.
That's all right. It's still a 13.
It is still a 13, and the orc over in the corner is really digging for gold, so he doesn't notice. He doesn't notice what's happening. So, you rip the pages, and you're able to tuck them away inside your book. We're going to flash forward now because that happens prior to leaving. When you guys do leave, I didn't know if there was anywhere new that you wanted to go to, and I'll pop that map back up, the map of Thest. So
And I'm sorry to take that back, but yeah.
Oh no, it's totally fine.
Of course, yeah.
No, please,
yeah. Didn't interrupt the flow at all. So you guys are over in the Dragon Jaw Mountains. As for exactly where you are inside there, you don't know. You don't have a map open in front of your characters. You weren't quite keeping track, but you do know that it's somewhere along the word dragon, but you don't know where in that area. So you can pretty much go anywhere. Your plan is to head west. So to head west, if you want to go by foot, you can either start heading south and loop your way around there. You can head very far north, loop your way there. You can head to any port city and start crossing. I believe it's the Sea of Fallen Stars is what you're right on the coast of. But you did also have one last little thing that you wanted to finish while you were in Thesk, and that relates directly to Otto. Did you want to go and get your...
I want to go and get my loot. Yeah.
So we got to head back to the
Teflon.
Yeah. Okay.
The Luthier and Telflon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's just so proud of himself. He remembered that word. Luthier. Dictionary.
Luthier.
So is that the plan to head back to Telflon?
Yeah, sure.
So making your way back to Telflon, there is really no big issues that happen when it comes to combat. So along the way, you bump into a couple of orcs. None of them want to fight you. Once again, like goblins here or there, you easily crush them. It's not even worth noting. Or a couple of the orcs like, Gromman the Magnificent, but they struggle with the words Gromman the Magnificent, and they're just like excited to see you, because like you're now the strongest orc of the temple. So as
Gromman takes it all in, and he's like yeah, and he kind of
Otto's kind of playing it up a bit, heed Gromman the Magnificent.
Man, Gromman is going to have the biggest ego at the end of this. All of Farron won't be able to contain Gromman's ego. So
you can remember.
Yeah, right. All these titles, I don't even know, just Gromman. Just keep it simple. So as you guys are traveling, you do come across more instances of the weather. So it does come downpour at some points. The weather makes it so the travel is very uncomfortable. Sopping in your boots and everything. You try to take a little bit of shelter.
Gromman's all about it. He's actually jumping in puddles.
You really are just a happy child.
The golden cup, the golden.
He's not really very. He's not all there.
He's simple.
Yeah, just remember that.
A murderous child, but a child nonetheless.
A creepy murderous, not so smart child.
You're in the right party for that.
Yeah, apparently. So you make your way traveling up there. Like I said, there's bad weather along the way, but you do eventually pull yourselves into Telflon several days later. When you get to Telflon, you are still probably a couple days early for your for getting your loot. So I'm going to take this moment to explain something about Faerun that I didn't mention prior. So unlike on Earth, where we have a calendar of 12 months, and each month is 30 or 31 days, except for February, where it's 28 days. In Faerun, it's actually 12 months. Each month is exactly 30 days, though each month has 3 weeks, which are exactly 10 days long. Standing outside of those months, there are 5 holidays. They're kind of stretched out. We don't need to go over what they are. There are 5 holidays that stand outside of months, meaning after the 30th and before the 1st. It's set every year, and then every 4 years, which just happens to be one of those 4 years. We just didn't start the game with the celebration, but it was around that time. There's a celebration of Shield Meet, which is more or less like leap year. If you actually math it out for 2 seconds, you see that, that's actually still 365 days. But the 366th at the end of 4 years. So it works like us, but it's simplified to 12 months a year, 30 days a month, 10 days a week, 3 weeks in the month. Okay. So like I said, it was 2 weeks to get it done, which is 20 days. You guys traveled for some time. There are a few days left when you pull into Tel Flam. You can just hold yourself up in an inn or whatever it is that you want to do. Is there anything else you guys need to get done in the city? I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Ramen, if there are humans, he's probably asking every human.
Yeah.
I already forgot about that.
I think if there's maybe humans in the city of 20,000 people, then yeah, you might have some work to
If he
do.
encounters any human, he's asking them if they know the Order of the Golden Cup. In some cases, like grabbing them and being aggressive about it. Also, this is just for you, Delric. Dean Cuddy is watching the stream. Just...
Hi, Dean.
You're such a
Hi, Dean.
fanboy. It's disgusting.
Listen, okay, Dean's awesome. All right.
Uh-huh.
Dean is awesome. Get it. You don't get it.
You're right. I don't.
So just to that, the population's 23,361, and it's 84% human. So we're going to go through the.
Unless other people are stopping me from this is what Grauman is doing.
You're very large and intimidating, and while there might be a handful of humans that give you a little guff back that you can, take the guff away, or if there's a handful of humans that give you a little guff back and you are like, oh, maybe I shouldn't continue pursuing this. You ask enough humans, just through sheer attrition, you're able to find out some information. And so I'll give that to you right now. So as I said, the Order of the Golden Cup happens to be a sect within the religion of Elmador. I'll take a moment to explain Elmador. Elmador, I don't remember his...
He's a weird god.
He's not that weird. Elmador's cool, man.
He's
So Elmador is...
Remember, he worships like an evil god. Don't judge Mathis.
Well, no, at a game. Like, Grummish is a weird fucking god, too. It was like, I'm not gonna... I realize Thonk is a psychopath.
No, Thonk is legit a fucking psychopath.
So
And he's trying to make Grauman one, too.
And 16. So Elmador is known, like all gods have like 1,000,010 nicknames. Elmador, his primary nickname is the Crying God. He's usually portrayed as being a human that is broken and bloodied, wearing very simple clothing, rags at best. He is a lawful good god that is all about those that worship Elmador as their primary deity believe that there is only a limited amount of pain that exists in the world. And by taking that pain unto themselves, they're able to alleviate that pain of others. So he portrays himself that way because those that follow him inflict pain upon themselves to intentionally alleviate the pain of others that are suffering elsewhere. He is most righteous of gods.
He's like the good god of what I do.
Everyone's cutting.
Oh, man.
Favor's a weird place, man.
Philip just cuts himself because he's like, I'm taking that pain back. You can't have it. So that is the god that this person that Gareth Dragonsbane worships, the one that is that had led the party that killed your family. So knowing that about him, you probably think he's a bit of a psychopath as opposed to a hero, which maybe other people do. You're also able to find out that Gareth Dragonsbane is, because you ask that name as well, you find out that he is in fact still a king, and he is the king of Damara. As for where Damara is in relation to where you guys are right now, because obviously you would ask that question. I wish I could pull up the map for you. So in Thesk, so when you're in Thesk, the country immediately to the north of it is the Great Dale, and immediately to the north of that is Narfell. Immediately to the west of that is Damara. So if you wanted to, say, walk north and then go west, that would be a way to pass you through Damara and even bring you immediately next to the Vasa, because Damara is the country that is adjacent to the Vasa, the border between them being the Galena Mountains, which is where you came from. So you actually traveled through this man's land to get to where you are today, if it is your intention to go there and confront the king. You could always put that off for another day, whatever it is you want to do. So that's the information that you're going to get through sheer attrition over the course of several days. Now, what else also happens over the course of those several days, because Rye and Otto frequent their time at the bars. Otto trying to just make money to pay for the people that are, so he plays, makes money, and that money will just kind of say pays for everybody's in the parties staying at these various places. Unless you're saying no, fuck them, I'm going to keep the money for myself.
No,
Yeah.
I'll be nice.
Robin's there the whole time, like cheering him on. But anytime he sees a human, he's asking them questions.
Rye pays whenever possible with the big lump of gold.
Oh my god!
Like 5 rooms, cool. Here's a huge lump of gold.
Does that come back to us anytime within those days?
So way we're going to narrate that one. So what it is you go up, you're like 5 rooms. How long are you going to stay for? I don't know. A while. We're going to be here for a while. Okay, well, that's going to come up to, and before they can even respond with the price, thump. That lump of gold is there. And you're like, it's good. And they're like, staying indefinitely, yes. And they take the gold and put it behind the counter. And that's the last of you see of the gold while you're inside the city. So it actually pays for it, and Atto will roll later on for what your gold is that you get from it. Thank you, Rye. So you paid to stay there. While you guys are around, one of the things that you do notice is the guards here aren't searching for you guys or anything like that. But in various taverns or in various areas of the city, there are little like adventure boards, places where people kind of put up, we're offering money to do this, or this person is this. You actually do start to find out little flyers that have like your pictures on them here and there. They're not like the huge flyers that you were seeing in the other city. Yep. They not huge flyers that you're seeing in the other cities saying like the guards of this in particular city or city state are looking for these individual members. They're flyers that happen to have all 4 of your faces on it, which is both better and worse, but they're smaller, so maybe it doesn't work out as well. And they don't seem to be official ones placed up by guards. They seem to be like somebody's paying for information about these 4 people.
So we have disguise potions and stuff like that. And
you have potions, but not disguise ones.
I spent her few days here just defacing every poster she comes across, like from moustaches to like just she changes how everyone looks just on everyone she finds.
No, I love the fact that the first session you were complaining about the fact that they never get your nose right, and now session 10 you're screwing up your nose on every one of the posters that you come across.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you go around. Please don't recognize me. So you go about that. You get everything done. Eventually, the loot is made ready. Before we go to that scene, what is your plans for leaving here? Do you want to head north? Do you want to hop on a ship and head straight west from here? I know that, say, Thonk has the intentions of heading west quicker than maybe the rest of you do, but what are your intentions?
Not as much so. Like, I mean, I understand I have a mission, but it doesn't seem to be terribly timed like other things were. So,
Gromit has definitely expressed where he would like to go, and kind of come back every night, like drunkenly in his stupor, trying to like very stupidly explain, like he's in like the most simple words, like explain where he needs to go, and he just like keeps repeating it over and over again, and like the more drunk he gets every night, the more he like keeps repeating that same thing, but he doesn't like really know where he needs to go or why, and he like, you know, depending on his drunkenness.
Is he still just saying 7 and what is he saying?
Now he's like golden cup is like
Okay.
a trigger word, and
Okay.
anytime someone says like golden cup, he's on it and trying to figure out what they're talking about.
Slamming him up against the wall. What do you know?
He's like,
where is she?
I was like, hey, barmaid, listen, can you just serve her drink in that brass cup, but like polish it really good? And Rye's like silent image. He's like, hey, here's your golden cup.
He's like,
think-
what do
I
you
think-
know?
I think Addo and Rye between them have tabooed the word. They're like, we've like got a different word for it now. Like
Yeah, no, absolutely.
the brown mug.
He wouldn't even correlate that. Oh, that's awesome.
We're not speaking of the special goblet anymore. That's we don't talk about.
Oh my gosh, you guys like spell it out and Graham doesn't know. You're like the
G-O-L-D.
Yeah, and he just like doesn't know what you guys are saying. And then he keeps also repeating like he needs to meet the king of Damara, and like he keeps just like, repeating those things.
Okay.
I mean, Rye has no idea where her fate is going to take her at this point, so she's just going.
Poor Rise is a vagabond and outlawed.
Dude, that's, like sometimes weird shit whispers to her, and sometimes it doesn't for a long time.
So the heading over to the Addo's lute is finally ready from the luthier, and so he heads over to the luthier to pick it up. When you were walking into the place, the person that you had dealt with beforehand is still there, and so as you go walking in, he's like, as you're walking up to him, he's like, "Oh, welcome back."
Hi, yes. Do you have my lute ready for me?
I do. Yes, I do. It is repaired and tuned as you had asked, but I found something interesting about it that I thought you might like to know.
Oh?
You may know as much of the story as you know. We discussed it before, but as I said, technically every lute is a knockoff, and then there are like real knockoffs. Well, this is not only a good one. This is, if you look at the wood and the way that it's faded, and you see the grains in it, this lute was made quite some time ago. This is an old lute. I would beg to say that this is, well, certainly not but one of the originals, one of the original knockoffs of the original, potentially even made within the College of DOS itself. This might be one of those. I would even be willing to wager a sack of gems to say so.
Grauman like nudges him, and this time we brought Rye with us. She's got the golden eye.
Right.
I don't anymore. See, we paid for the rooms with it. It's gone for now.
Oh, that's right. We don't have it.
Oh.
Or do you? I mean, yeah.
I hate to ask, but does this affect my price at all?
No, we had an agreed upon price, and you have a treasure here, and I want you to understand what it is that you have. I mean, it's said that the College of DOS was crafted with the same wood that was used to make the original lutes. So, I mean, if I were you, I would want to go visit that place, but I thought it shut down so many years ago. So, I mean, you'd have to find it.
Well, I shall certainly take good care of it then. I reach for it.
Yep. And he hands it to you, and I imagine you give the money.
Yep.
And so you make your exchange, and seeing this thing, it is fully repaired. It looks beautiful. He's restrung it.
Grauman like pokes it, but very lightly.
I'm holding it. I'm studying it, having this newfound knowledge. And what does it look like to me?
So, I mean, the lute is the lute that you've always had beforehand. I mean, you're very familiar with it, but now it's completely cleaned. It's been polished up. There's a whole bunch of parts that were switched out on it, restrung. You play it for a moment, kind of.
Grauman's like, play. He's like chanting you on because he wants.
And I begin to pluck the individual strings, trying to test out the tuning, see if it's all to my liking, and it certainly sounds quite nice. Maybe even better than I ever expected.
Actually, it's not at all to your liking, and with the melody that you're trying to strum very quickly, something that you know very well, it sounds horrible. But that's because it's not tuned to the method that you learned to play an instrument. It's tuned very different.
Roll for that to see how good he does.
Well, now that you've heard that it's a little bit different, you are entirely welcome to be like, okay, I've heard that this is where the A is, and this is,
I remember I did ask. I asked for that particular tuning, right?
You did, in fact.
I did. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, because he thought it was a
Challenged
challenge.
her ability.
Yes.
He was like, oh, the DOS is like a different style, and you were like, I will do it.
Yo,
So
how much
having,
did that repair cost?
What is that? I'm sorry.
Is that 100 gold to repair that?
Yeah, that's how much it cost him. Yeah, repair it for the state that it was in, but it was already his, so it's not like we're going to sell it to you for the actual value.
Right.
So if you want to roll, doing just a simple melody, something that you know very well, roll for your performance with disadvantage because you're not currently accustomed.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to say, before you roll again, you did still have your advantage you never used yet, and if you
That's
used
true.
it, you could have countered the disadvantage with advantage neutralizing.
Sure.
I was gonna say,
I'm happy with this.
Take the 18. Okay, there you go.
Absolutely.
So you take your 18 and you take a moment, you kind of think for a second, strum it a few more times, and then you play a simple melody, maybe one that the party's heard 1,000 times beforehand when like camping overnight.
Grauman thinks it's amazing because I
And-
mean, at 18, it's just the most amazing thing for Grauman.
The melody comes out exactly as you want it to. The sound resonating out of it with the correct tuning. It sounds beautiful.
I'm
like,
still within earshot of the luthier as well.
oh yeah, you're still in the shop. Yeah, absolutely. He's
Yeah,
still
We haven't
watching
left
you,
yet.
and seeing you adjust your style of play that instantly, his jaw actually drops some. He's just kind of like he's watching, and it's like when you screw it up, he's like, oh, well, makes sense, you know.
Grauman like looks at him because he remembers last time he intimidated him, but like poorly. He's like, "See, I told you, he's best player."
He is indeed very, very good at what he does. Yes, I must say, I'm impressed. I am very impressed with what you can do.
Otto gives a final strum, just turns back, and just gives him a little wink.
And out you go. So what more or less what we'll do is, because the DOS lute does require something called attunement, and in case you don't know, I believe every PC is allowed to have 2 magic items maximum attuned to their character. So
Okay.
what your character will do is, over the course of the next X amount of time of traveling, you'll fiddle with it, you get comfortable with it, you'll kind of like learn its style, and you attune the instrument to you. And in doing so, it unlocks the abilities of it, which we can I'll just kind of announce those at the beginning of the next session when it matters. But as we're finishing up, as we're have the loot back, everything's taken care of, you have it kind of all bundled together, you know that now it's time for you to leave the city. It sounds as though you wish to leave the city by going to the north towards Damara. Is that in fact the plan of the party?
I feel like because we want to go northwest, right? Because
You definitely need to go very, 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 very west and then north.
Yeah.
Yes.
so I feel like if we go north to where I need to go, and then you need to go west, and I don't know where. Like you need to do the DOS stuff. Where is that located?
Right, and I don't know where that is on the map.
Yeah.
So you
Well, I need
actually,
to find it. Right, I need to just go out and look, don't I?
in that story that I gave you beforehand, didn't I tell you where it was, where the location of the old college was?
Did you? I'm sorry.
It'll be on the handout if it is.
Yep, and that's exactly what I'm going to right now. Bardic University.
This
Shadow
is.
Players.
Oh, the College of Das once stood in the shadow of the High Lady's castle in the city of Burdusk.
Damn. Burdusk is also extremely far to the west. So
We're all going west.
Yep, that is also very far to the west. Though, in fact, I believe a hair south of where you guys are. But still, west.
Yeah, we can all just like hit points as we need to go.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Sam at the moment is just kind of feeling like an outlaw in her city, feeling like Rye
But
is
the
feeling like.
question is, before we leave, does the nug come back?
Rai wants to do something real quick.
Sure, please, you go ahead.
Rai was watching with sad eyes as 100 gold pieces were handed over. And she watched carefully as to where these pieces went. And after they leave the store, Rai says, "I'll be back in a sec." And you see her just, poof, she's gone.
Oh no, are you gonna
And
steal
then
them?
you hear the bell of the store door open, but no one's there, and then just close again. And I want to
Grauman's like,
try and steal the gold back.
So as Rye goes walking back into the shop, like as you said before, the doorbell ringing, the person who was turned back doing what he was doing, and as I described last time, he's very focused on the works that he does. So he is looking down at the thing, and the doorbell goes off, and he ignores it for the first moment, and finally, when he finishes exactly what he's doing, he looks up. looks a little confused or something, looks around, doesn't see anybody there, and he kind of thinks, like, shakes his head to himself, like, and you can imagine that he's just like, oh, they were just leaving, you know, it's figment of my imagination. And so he's just kind of like shaking his head back again. He goes back down to what he's doing, and after like waiting a few more moments, he just seems to be completely consumed by his work again, like tunnel vision. And it's more than just tunnel vision. He actually has like magnifying glasses as he's looking down. So what does Rye do?
I want to steal the gold back. I want to just like slip behind the counter and get it back.
Just roll me a stealth check to keep your footfall silent.
My footfalls. Okay. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, of course. And it's a good thing that you did. So you go walking around the side or whatever. This person does not see you, does not pick his head up or anything, doesn't seem to notice you. Now, where it is that you're putting your, where it is that you're going over to where it is that the gold was stored, if I can speak correctly, is actually right next to where he is, and inside a little bit of a little chest. There's a latch on the chest, but it's not locked or anything like that. It's just like a fall latch where you could pass a lock through the loop if you'd like. No lock or anything sitting there. He continues to go about his work, super focused. He's not like humming or anything, so he's completely silent. You made your relative silent way around there. He didn't seem to notice. It would be a sleight of hand check next there.
Okay, well, let's do it. Just normal, right?
Correct. And don't forget your +5, of course.
Oh no.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Still a
It's 10
10.
though, right?
Yeah, it's still a
Because
10.
you
It's
have
still a
five?
10.
You still roll a 10 and a natty 1, which is still.
it's not an automatic
God.
failure with skills. It's only an automatic failure with attack rolls and saves. That's it.
Yes, correct.
So, not with skills. So you open up the latch and you lift the thing up and you kind of look at the guy. You pick up the sack of coins and you kind of pull them close. It jingles a little bit and you kind of like look at the guy. Doesn't seem to notice. And then you're like, okay. And you go to like close the lid back down. And as soon as you close the lid, the latch kind of like falls into place and it's like tink. And he's like, and he's looking around and he's looking like down at the latch and everything, but he's still got like the goggles on. So he's kind of like over focused looking down at the area. And he's like, oh, and give me a moment to actually make my roll. So he
Like I see Matthew's face, like, oh God, what's going on?
So he looks down at the thing and he's staring at it and he's, he can't see you, but he can see the thing swinging ever so slightly. And so he's like, it's moving. Hello? Hello? Is anybody here? And then with this, he kind of like lifts up his goggles and starts rubbing his eyes. What does Rye do during this?
She's like, I believe because the coins are now like within her possession, they take on the invisibility. But she's now slowly just trying to like tiptoe
Also,
and make her way out.
it's been so long that Grauman's confused and he opens the door to the store.
So
Right, as soon as she like hears the handle go and the bell ring, she takes the opportunity to like dart all the way back to the
So he reaches down and opens the latch and starts to lift up the chest like what? And goes to look inside. And right as he's getting the chest up high enough that he can see inside, the doorbell rings and he darts his head up this time. No goggles on or anything like that. Looking to see what's going on. And
Grauman opens, and when he looks up, Grauman looks in and he's like, oh, me just want to say thank you.
I lean in with that as well. Yeah, thanks again.
oh, you're welcome anytime. It was.
And then
If you
I
find
go-
any other treasures like that, he says, if you find any other treasures like that, you make sure you bring them back in here and let me see them. I would love to be able to work on that kind of stuff again. And as he continues talking, like his hand kind of like comes up and he's like using his hand for speech. He's like, it was really a pleasure, young sir.
What you guys can't see during this conversation is Rice like crawling between Grauman's legs out the door. Like she invisible, so you guys can't like see it. She's just like crawling through his legs out the door.
I feel this little nudge at my ankle, but I'm also like maintaining eye contact, talking with him. Oh yeah, absolutely, yes, we will. We'll come back here straight away.
Rye, roll me stealthy again, but this time because of the distraction, roll me with advantage, or you did last time too.
All right, let's do
Roll
it.
well, roll well, roll well.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, perfect.
Like a ghost in the night.
Nice.
Perfect, awesome, and that is a perfect way to end the night with Rye stealing something to feel as though like I gained something here too, and which is Addo's money, and it makes it way back out. So we'll leave it with that, and with us leaving the city, the exact route we take, we can figure out and kick off with the beginning of next session. But that concludes session 10 of
Week
Edge of
10?
Morality.
Edge of Morality.
Is it really the edge anymore with
The edge?
No, because Rye is still like fucking good.
Rye's
like-
yeah,
Rye is like a Robin Hood kind of good.
effectively chaotic good. I mean, I suppose more chaotic neutral because she doesn't try to stop people from being murdered, but she has no hand in that.
I actively stopped someone from being murdered this episode.
Yeah.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like Otto and Grommen are the in between, and then like there's Thonk, who's like the devil on
Listen.
our shoulder, and then there's Rye, who's like
Evil
the
is all a matter of perspective.
I don't understand how I came to spy as a thief and I'm the good one. Like, huh?
Perspective, right?
Right, I guess.
It's all perspective.
You're still pretty bad though. Like,
Well, I'm not bad. I just look out for
I mean,
number
you
one.
just stole from guys.
I honestly
just
thought,
look out
like-
for number one.
When we started this, I honestly thought Rye was gonna be like equivalent to evil of me. Like it's very similarly evil. No.
No, he was always going to be like a good character because like Grommen was also, because of what his situation was, he was a good character too.
Yeah.
But because he didn't know where he came from, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I didn't know where it was going to go though. So it's interesting.
I love this party dynamic. I do. This party
I was
dynamic is
about to say something if we stuck around any longer with those murderous lunatics that we were palling around with for the first hour or so, but things changed up real quick.
You call them
Yeah.
murderous lunatics. I call them good friends.
Mm-hmm.
No, you call them brother and sister.
One of them nearly caught Addo, and I swear to God, I would have killed them all.
Oh, if anything, any harm came to
I
you,
can't off, that's
I
for
would have enjoyed the shit show that would have been followed of one of you
Oh,
being
that would have
harmed.
been a fun time, yeah.
But there's plenty of opportunities for that to happen in the future, I am sure. All right, well, that is it. We are done. Week 10 of Lost Initiative. We'll go around the room. People can tell what's going on this week, where people can find you, what's going on. And as always, we'll start with Sam. Sam, what's going on this week? What do you got going on?
Not a lot. Playing video games.
Weird.
Yeah.
would do
What's up,
that?
guys? That's right. I'm Strippin. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Strippin. Noon PDT every day. You can hit me up on the Twitter at Strippin. Been playing a bit of Blood Bowl. Been playing a GTA 5 roleplay mod, which has been pretty awesome.
That sounds
oh my
kind of cool.
gosh.
Or trying to anyway. I haven't streamed it yet, but yeah. So
I'm just remembering, I think the last time I played GTA 5 with you, and we had like a little fight pit happening with Gmart and them.
yeah.
Oh,
Things get
Gmart.
crazy. Things get crazy.
That they
I
do.
put the P in pie.
Bear, what's going on this week with you? What's coming up on the channel? What are you streaming?
Hey, I am still playing some Darkest Dungeon over there. Just threw up the 100,000 celebration video. We're gonna be doing
Congratulations
the
again.
podcast. I appreciate it. Doing the podcast on Friday. And then next week, we're actually starting a group series on Factorio, which is a
Super
really
good
good game. One that I had not played until like recently. And man, I am sad that I passed that up because that is so fun. It's really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Maggie, what's going on with you this week? What you got going on your channels? All that good stuff.
Well, right after this, I'm going to be playing a fishbowl style The Sims characters of our characters, actually. I made our characters in The Sims, and we're gonna see what happens.
After this session, I'm more upset that you made me emo in The Sims and it like came to fruition.
No, you're like old, like balding. You remind me kind of the comic book owner from The Simpsons. Like, this guy, you see the collectors.
No, but what's funny is he acts like Thunk.
Really, it just happened to take.
But here's the thing, Grommen and Thunk, this is the most loving relationship I've seen. Out of all the Sims characters I made so far, it is ridiculous. Like they're always, but Thunk is still very loner. Like he'll hang out and like the rest of the family, like Rye and Otto and Grommen are having dinner together, and Thunk is like by himself. Sometimes Rye's by herself, but it like depends on the situation. It's actually funny how the characters turned out because I tried to make them very much like their
awesome.
characters.
Except real Thunk will go off to the side and do his prayer. He cuts himself. Sims Thunk.
Jesus
will
Christ! I regret even saying it's like
with his like TV dinner on his TV tray by himself with his plastic silverware.
Actually, no. Thunk's character makes dinner for everybody, and he calls them all. They just don't all show up.
They assume it's poisoned.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then I guess tomorrow we have our Star Wars and the second week for that, so that's really exciting. And I'll be playing some more Minecraft. I'm learning how to play that game. I still owe everybody Outlast, so that's going to happen at the end. And next week we start Resident Evil 7, so that will be fun. It'll all happen before next week's this show.
Works for
and then
me.
obviously you can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the things. Twitter, Margaret Crown.
All the socials.
Yeah.
And Scott, where can people find you? What you got going on this week?
This today and Star Wars tomorrow.
Hooray.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Delric and all the other social places thingies. I try to keep up and respond. And stuff.
Heck yeah.
But otherwise, I'm just here. I'm Lost Initiative.
Yes, sir. You certainly are. And for myself, I will be back tomorrow. Again, we've got Star Wars The Forgotten. Same time as we start this. So 9 p.m. EST. Be myself, Maggie, Jesse, and Krendor. I've got my next video for Judge Mathis in about a week. It'll be the original Dungeon Keeper, which is awesome. And on the YouTube channel gameplay stuff, I've got The Long Dark going, Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, and Subnautica should be making a return soon enough. I think that's it. So thank you guys again so much for coming by and hanging out. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.